بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. These are some exercises about section 1.1. In all of these problems, we need to solve each equation. So question 8, for example, solve this equation. Well, I can solve it really in two ways. I can just multiply cross product. 4 times 5 is 20, and 3 times 7 is 21x. And then I can divide by 21. So x would be 20 over 21. And there is no common factors between 20 and 21. If you use the calculator to simplify, it will give you the same answer. So this is one way to solve the equation. Or you can multiply by the LCD. The LCD here is 4 times 7 because 4 and 7 have no common factors uh, or no factors in common. So I will multiply by 28, both sides. So if I multiply by the first side, which is 5 over 7, and also the second side, 3x over 4. Now we divide 28 by 7, we get 4. Then we multiply 4 times 5, that's 20. And here also we divide 28 by 4, that's 7. And we multiply 7 times 3, and that's 21x. So we immediately reach this equation. And also we divide by 21 to get the same answer for of x. This is another equation. No denominators here. So we just need to expand parentheses, remove all parentheses. So 10x plus 6, this is okay. And now negative 2 is multiplied by parentheses. So we distribute negative 2 times 1 is negative 2, and negative 2 times negative 5x is positive 10x equals 9. And now we have 10x plus 10x, that's 20x, and 6 minus 2 is 4. Now we need to move 4 to the other side, so we subtract 4 from both sides. 9 minus 4 would be 5, and we divide by 20. 5 over 20 when simplified is 1 over 4, and that's the answer. And we can check, you can replace x here by 1 over 4 and check that our answer is correct. Here I have denominators and I have a term here without denominator. So the denominators 2 and 6. The LCD in this case would be 6 because 6 divides 2. 6 divided by 2 would be 3. So the LCD would be 6. I need to multiply the left-hand side of the equation by 6 and also the right-hand side. Now for the left-hand side, when you multiply this times this, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Then 3 times 5x would be 15x minus 6 times 4 is 24. And now here 6 cancels with 6, and I have 2x minus 7. Now I need to bring 2x to the other side, to the left-hand side. So subtract 2x from both sides. 15x minus 2x would be 13. x, and 2x minus 2x would be 0. And now I need to move 24, negative 24 to the other side. So I add 24 to both sides. So I'll have negative 7 plus 24, that's 17. Now I divide by 13 to get the value of x and the solution of the equation. Here I have 3 and 3 in the denominators, the same number. So the LCD in this case is 3, and I need to multiply 3 by the left hand side to remove the denominators, and 3 times the right hand side. So 3 times x plus 3 times 1 over 3, which is 1, equals 3 times 2, 6, and 3 times negative 6 is negative 18x. So I have 3x plus 1 equals, let us get rid of the parentheses, 6 times x is 6x minus 6 times 2 over 3, 6 cancels with 3, 2 times 2, 4. You can use the calculator if you like, negative 18x. So I have 3x plus 1 equals 6x minus 18x. We subtract 6 minus 18, that's negative 12 minus 4. Now I need to bring negative 12x to the other side, so I add 12x to both sides. When I add 3x to 12x, I get 15x. And when I add 12x here, I get negative 4 because this will be cancelled. Now I subtract 1 from both sides. So negative 4 minus 1 would be negative 5. And now I divide by 15. X would be negative 5 over 15, or negative 1 over 3 when simplified. Solve each fractional equation. Here we talk about fractional equations. Check your answers in the original equation. I have denominators. I have 3, I have 2x plus 5, and I have 4x plus 10. Notice that 2 times 2x plus 5 is 4x plus 10. So actually 4x plus 10 is 2 times 2x plus 5. So what will be the LCD in this case? Well, I have 3, so I must take it. And I have 2 times 2x plus 5. 2x plus 5 is taken, 3 is taken, and 2 times 2x plus 5 is taken. So this would be the LCD, 6 times 2x plus 5. You leave it like this, and you multiply the LCD by the left-hand side. And so no need for the parentheses because it's only one term. But now we need parentheses here when we multiply the LCD by the right hand side because we have two terms. Okay, now here 2x plus 5 cancels with 2x plus 5, and I'll have 6 times 2, which is 12x. Here, when you multiply this times this, 6 times 3 over 3 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, so I'll have 4 times 2x plus 5, and then minus. When you multiply this times this is 4x plus 10, which is 2 times 2x plus 5. And here I have 6. So 6 divided by 2 would be 3. And 2x plus 5 would be cancelled with 2x plus 5. So I'll have 3 times 5, that's 15. Now 12x would be equal to 4 times 2, 8x, 4 times 5, 20, minus 15. I would like to take 8x to the other side, so I subtract 8x. So let me write 12x minus 8x equals 20 minus 15, which is 5. 12 minus 8 is 4, so 4x equals 5. Then x would be 5 over 4. And you can check it in the original equation to make sure that your answer is correct. Let us check it this time. So 2 times 5 over 4 over 2 times 5 over 4 plus 5. This is the left hand side. Let me evaluate the left hand side first. So this would be 5 over 2. And this would be 5 over 2 plus 5. That's 15 over 2. If you multiply by 2 over 2, then this 2 would be cancelled with this, and this would be cancelled with this. And you will have 5 over 15, which is 1 over 3. So the left-hand side, when we replace x by 5 over 4, is 1 over 3. Now let us check the right-hand side, and it should be also 1 over 3. So 2 over 3 minus 5 over 4 times x, and x is 5 over 4 plus 10. So this would be 2 over 3 minus. Now 4 cancels with 4, and this would be 5 over 5 plus 10, 15. So this is 2 over 3 minus 5 over 15, which is 1 over 3. If you subtract, you get 2 minus 1, 1 over 3. So the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side, which means our solution is correct. Another equation, let us find the LCD since we have denominators. 3, 4, nothing in common between them, and also x. These are all the things in the denominator, variables and numbers. So the LCD would be 12x. So we multiply 12x times the two terms in the left-hand side and times the two terms in the right-hand side. Now 12x times 3 over x, x cancels with x, and you get 3 times 12, which is 36. And when you multiply 12x times 1 over 4, 12 divided by 4 is 3 times x, so I'll have 3x. In the right-hand side, 12 over 3 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8 times x, so it is 8x. Plus x cancels with x. 12 times 1 is 12. And all the denominators just disappeared. Now I will take 8x to the other side, and I will take 36 to the right-hand side. 3x minus 8x is negative 5x, and 12 minus 36 is negative 24. So divide by negative 5. So x would be negative 24 over negative 5, which is 24 over 5. And that's the answer. Here we have x minus 3, the only denominator. So it is the LCD. So I will multiply by, actually, I can solve this question in two ways. So I will start by this method and then I'll solve it using another method. So x minus 3 times 4 plus 6 over x minus 3. This cancels with this and I'll have 2x. Now 4 times x minus 3, and when we multiply this times this, x minus 3 cancels and we get 6. So 2x equals 4x minus 3 times 4, 12 plus 6. I'll take 4x to the other side. So I'll have negative 2x minus 4x, and negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6. So x would be negative 6 over negative 2, which is 3. But pay attention, 3 is a solution of this equation. But it can't be a solution of the original equation because x cannot be 3 in the original equation because 3 will make the denominator 0. So x equals 3 is a solution of this equation, but it cannot be solution of this equation. So the solution of the original equation is just 5. The other method, I have 20x over x minus 3 in the left hand side. I can bring 6 over x minus 3 to the left hand side also. And I can leave 4 here. 4 is already here. Now we can add these two or subtract these two fractions. Since we have the same denominator, so we write the denominator and we subtract the numerators. 2x minus 6 equals 4. And now if you factor the numerator, if you take 2 as a common factor, you will find it x minus 3 over x minus 3. So you can cancel x minus 3 with x minus 3, and you will have 2 equals to 4. But 2 cannot be 4. So this is impossible. So the solution set is 5. So you can solve it either by the first method or the second method. Both are correct. Here solve this equation for t. If you look to the equation, t appears only in one term. So that's easy. I will start by writing the equation p plus prt equals s. So I changed the sides, okay? The right hand side, I wrote it as left hand side, and the left hand side, I wrote it as the right hand side. This is possible because when I tell you that x equals 1, if you want to write it 1 equals x, that's correct. Now to find t, to solve for t, this term has to be alone in the left hand side. So I have to take p to the other side. And now if you divide by p times r, you will get t. And that's it. We solved the equation for t. Solve this equation for y. Y is here. So the first step here is to multiply both sides by x minus a or you just make cross product as we have seen. So this is in fact m over 1. So if you make cross product, then y minus b would be equal to m times x minus a. Remember, we need to solve it for y. So just take b to the other side, and that's it. We solved the equation for y. These are some inequalities, and the question is solve. To solve the linear inequality, we need to leave x alone in the left-hand side. So take 17 to the other side. So it would be negative 4 minus 17. That's negative 21. Then multiply by negative to have x alone here. The coefficient should be 1. But if you multiply by negative, you should change the sign from less than to greater than. So that's the answer. X is greater than 21. So if this is 21, x goes here. So the solution is from 21 to infinity in interval notation. Here I have a denominator. So I will multiply 2 times the left-hand side and times the right-hand side. And since I am multiplying by a positive number, which is 2, so there is no problem at all. 2 cancels with 2, and I'll have x plus 1. Then 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 1 is 2. Now I have x. I'll bring 2x to that side. And here, this is 2 plus 1, 3. I'll bring it to the other side. So x minus 2x, this is negative x. 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Multiply by a minus sign and change the inequality to less than, so x is less than 1. If this is 1, that's the answer, from negative infinity to 1. So this is the answer of the inequality. Some applications. Dish Systems manufactures satellite systems and has its monthly profit, P. So what is P in the equation? P is the monthly profit in dollars related to the number of satellite systems, X. So what is X? The number of satellite systems. Remember, you need to understand what does each variable represent. Find the number of systems. Number of systems, X. So the question, find X. That Dish Systems need to produce and sell to break even. Well, breaking even when the revenue is equal to the cost. And if the revenue is equal to the cost, then the profit is 0. So in fact, we need to find X so that the profit is 0. So P equals to 0. So 4 times 0 is 0. And we need to solve this equation. Well, let me bring 81x to the left-hand side. And then multiply by a negative, or no need to multiply, just immediately divide, find x, divide both sides by negative 81. Now use your calculator to find the answer. So the answer is 37. So he must produce and sell 370 dish systems to break even. So after he sells 370, then the revenue would be equal to the cost and the profit is zero. And after that, when he produce more dish systems, now he will get profits. For a certain product, the revenue is given by, so this is the revenue, and the cost is given by, so this is the cost. To obtain a profit, the revenue must be greater than the cost. We have seen here, when the revenue equals to the cost, break even. To make profit, the revenue should be greater than the cost. The question, for what values of X will there be a profit? Well, there will be a profit when the revenue is greater than the cost. The revenue is 40x, so it should be greater than the cost, which is 20x plus 1600. And we need to solve this inequality to find the values of x. Bring 20x to the other side. 40 minus 20 would be 20. And now x would be 1600 over 20. And that's just 80. So x should be greater than 80. The number of units should be greater than 80. After 80, they will make profits. The solution, if this is 80, this is the graph of the solution. And you can write it in interval notation if you like, from 80 to infinity. That's it. Thank you very much. Study hard and have a nice time.